Yesterday we trophied with Phoenix Fleet Airship playing the full 8 Shambling Ghast, playing Beseech the Beard. That build was really cool. I'm also interested in playing it in Soultrader combo. This is kind of, Airship is really nice with Phyrexian Tower powering it out. It seems finally my preview card gets some work in. Soultrader is also a good Phyrexian Tower shell, and I think that this just like beating up on Jeskai, beating up on Boros so hard, it's really compelling to play it alongside Soultrader, which is typically a deck that is very weak to removal. And then this gives you like potential turn 3 combo kills against the linear decks, which kind of seemed like where the other build um, suffered a little bit. And then your Overlords get better because you have better creatures to return. Playing Gravecrawler over the other Shambling Ghast, so not as many turn 2 Phoenix Fleet airships, still have some of them. Yeah, let's get in there. We had another draw there. What are we drawing to? We're so dead that game. Why am I off Sephiroth alongside Airship? I mean, you could play Sephiroth. I guess is Sephiroth better than... Yeah, we should honestly just be playing like maybe 3 Sephiroths, 1, 2 Marionette or 2-2 or something like that. I like Sephiroth here. Seems like it pairs well. Fourth Sex with the Yard Flare of Malice. I don't know. I thought about it. I decided I wanted a couple more push. Like you just don't want to draw 2 Flare of Malices in your opening hand almost ever, and if that's the case, you probably don't have 4 copies in your deck. Oh yeah, you can't get Sephiroth with Overlord. That's let's do a 2-2. It's worse at crewing the airships. Maybe 3-1. Could you just jam a Nykthos and choose your a lot of devotion? I mean, it's not a swamp. I don't know. It's just so win more usually. Maybe 3-1. I do think the first Sephiroth's good. Let's do 3-1. Like these crewing the airships is like a pretty big deal. Well, let's mulligan. Why Ghast over Freebooter? It's a zombie for Gravecrawler. Well, let's go through some motions real quick. Oh, maybe not. Sephiroth immediately greater than Marionette and then immediately worse. Like Soul Train, like this. If this was just the Marionette, we'd have the win next turn. If you draw Tower, you still have the win. Tower isn't really different from any other land for a Gravecrawler, right? Because when you have Soultrader in play, you can always sack anything for 1 extra mana. But I think the only top deck we have that wins the game is Marionette. They put a Lotus Field into their hand off the Rumble. We can maybe Cling to Dust this Aftermath Analyst. Yeah, I think they overvalued the tower, not realizing that with Soul Trade and play doesn't really do much. It's not much different. So we could win the game next turn. Seems like I'm gonna play the Bowmaster and the Gravecrawler this turn since I just need to not die. Okay, your turn. So it's gonna be a lot harder for them to kill with Escape Shift because we exiled the Analyst. On the other hand, it's Lotus Field 4 mystery cards. Yeah, they should have sacked the spawn. I imagine it's kind of hard to stay engaged on your opponent's turns playing Amulet. But we should be doing pretty good against a Titan. And then with Lotus Field, Scapeshift doesn't do too much because they only have 2 lands. What can they do with the Titan with only 1 amulet? They shouldn't be able to do the like crazy loops. I think we're actually just good here. Obviously, they could have enough stuff in their hand. And this is obviously a little scary. What are the token and Gravecrawler doing in play that's better than casting an Overlord? Just giving us access to more mana next turn. What does the Overlord do? Like this also denies them a mana, and like if we're gonna win most of the time next turn, if my opponent doesn't kill me, I just denying them a mana seems better than impending Overlord like every time. So there's no analyst in the deck. I mean, maybe they're playing 2. Oh, they are playing 2. I haven't seen 2 before. So yeah, 2 maybe is just super correct. The more I'm thinking about it a little bit. Let me say they do it. They do have to have something else here. I feel like when I left for Japan, nobody was playing 2. Let's give us 2. No, I don't remember it being 2. Maybe it was 2 is somewhat common. Yeah, I guess I just missed it. Especially alongside Rumble, it's not that milling it. Yeah, like in the spot, huh? Seems like they have something because they're making a lot of mana. Drops my room. I get, yeah, if we had played Overlord, we would have surely. So looks like they have enough to analyst loop now. All right, let's go to game 2. So I'm gonna cut the airships against Titan. Break the Ice just kills Saga. Sometimes killing early Vestige is good. They play a lot more colorless lands than they used to. I guess the Bowmasters are pretty bad. I wonder if Cling is better than Bowmaster. Cling was really bad that game. They're playing Rumble over Explore probably, or maybe they have Explore too, so they're not gonna have the damage as much. Obviously, neither card's particularly good. I'm gonna bring in some pushes since they tend to like always bring in these like random value cards to Greenstone for, it seems. Play like the first Cling. On the play for game 2. I think we're gonna mulligan. We have the Thoughtseize and not a lot else. No Ashiok in this hand. We do have Soultrader. Can Surveil turn 1. Break the Ice, slow him down. I don't know. I think my guts tell me to go to 5 here. My gut is wrong. Then any 4-card hand with Ashiok is going to be better than anything else. All right, do I keep 3 lands Ashiok or do I keep Thoughtseize 2 lands Ashiok? Let's just keep the Ashiok. 2 land and Surveil. Maybe. I think on the draw we would definitely keep the Thoughtseize. Well, there are 2 lands on top. I think Thoughtseizes plus Ashiok plus the 2 lands is better with access to Surveil, since Thoughtseizes mostly guarantees you survive past turn 3. Yeah, maybe I just felt like I would really like to be able to Surveil into some other action, right? Because if ultimately we just do nothing besides have an Ashiok, then our opponent will, our opponent will be able to oh, we're not dead. Our opponent will be able to, I think, eventually win. So, like, I think trying to Surveil towards action is something I was really interested in. Still waiting for my refund check for the 2 weeks of subscription where you're goofing off Japan. Hope it doesn't have to come out to any legal action. I'll get back to you. My lawyers will get back to you. Owl been OP or nah? Seen it perform well in previous streams. Owl's good. Yeah, Owl's good. I wouldn't call it OP, but I'd say the card's been strong. All right, so we're gonna mill ourselves since we have the Witch's Cottage. Mill them get low. So your Ashiok always exiles the opponent's yard and then it mills a different player. Bit of a weird card. Okay, so I'm gonna mill myself again because if my Witch's Cottage is Soultrader, I could win next turn. Did not find the Soultrader. Still gonna play the Marionette Apprentice. So they didn't make mana, so they just don't have a Titan in their hand, thankfully. Having a nice long thing here. Deklos isn't correct. There's no Ashiok. Let me check. Yeah, it was just the wrong Moxfield as the exclamation point deck. They float a blue. Then they pass. Well, we're just taking for Soultrader. We find the Soultrader. I'm going to take Fate into my own hands by Ashioking them instead of not. I play the Teleria West. They know I have Soultrader. They know I have the combo, so they could concede. When I attack with the crawlers last turn, they have 2 blockers for the crawlers, so what's the point of attacking? Okay, somehow I've been lucky enough to just draw a second Soultrader. Oh, right, I guess they lose 1 life to the Apprentice, sure. Turn 6, deal 1 damage with my Gravecrawlers. That'll teach you to mess with my deck. Well, they haven't conceded yet. Should we be attacking Soul Traders actually a win? It is a win. You deal 2 damage for every 1 life you pay. I just gotta have an Ashiok or a combo hand, I think, for the most part. I think I have to keep double Thoughtseize, Ashiok, Soultrader, Gravecrawler on 6. Roll the draw. You just unfortunately have to keep this every time, even if it's kind of nauseating. Isn't Airship just win more in this deck? Airship was like phenomenally good yesterday. I'm really interested in playing more of it. Airship was a card that like just soloed Jeskai, Blink. It soloed Boros really often, which is a really interesting dynamic, and I think also an interesting dynamic to play in this archetype. Um, it's a new card that we're interested in playtesting too, so don't need to rain too much on the parade if you think it sucks. But one big issue with Soul Trader combo is that you are very weak to removal spells, and so playing a card that just is so good against the removal spells in the format seems like an interesting dynamic. And both decks care a lot about playing or like to play Phyrexian Tower. It seems like an easy overlap. Let's draw Phyrexian Tower. Okay, we'll take that, I guess. Come on, opponent. F6! Just F6, please. Can't win this turn, can I? No. Almost. Do like try to snipe some of their tutor targets. Like hitting the T West here could be a pretty big deal. Is there a blue-red lessons that can work? I think there's a lot more interesting stuff to do than lesson build around stuff. I don't think that the payoffs are really there. All right, beat Titan. All right, let's go. Great gameplay. All right, let's keep this. They give a Japan rundown. A little bit. I'm not a very good travel vlogger, I'm finding out. But it's really nice. We went to Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara, Osaka, Kamakura, and then the lake around Mount Fuji. My favorite parts were Kyoto, Kamakura, Mount Fuji. Just a wonderful, lovely trip in general. Could take the Emrakul here to stop them from having an principal to the lab. Seems okay. Is Ponza ever going to be viable? Probably not like the kind of Ponza you're thinking of, like classic green red. But I do think that you can play kind of an interesting. You can look at the Mox field. Check out our sponsor, moxfield.com. Go look at our Mox field, and we have a mono red like mid range deck that's playing all 8 wildfires, the red MDFC that destroys a land, a bunch of Field of Ruins, and you can maybe have that classic Ponza feel playing something like that. I'm pretty sure Iroh's my favorite character from Avatar. Toph is cool. Sokka's cool. No shortage of great characters. All right, let's just pass here. Yeah, Azul is a really well done character too. I don't feel like there's really any character that falls particularly flat in the show, which is kind of rare. Like in Korra, I felt like they had no idea what they were doing with Mako as a character, and he felt like this is a very odd character in general. Is it a more viable wildfire with Wushang since you're in search? We played that also. That is also a thing. There's lots of stuff like that you can do. Suki's kind of mad. I mean, she's like a support. I feel like the scene she's in, she's fine. I guess she's not the most interesting, but she's also not a main character, I'd say. Yeah, maybe a little flat. Okay, so we don't find a payoff. We could take backup Soul Trader. Probably would prefer to do that over Bowmaster. Was an issue with Korra. They only got to go for one season time. I think so. I think that is a big problem, yeah. I liked Korra a lot, though. I don't think, I think it's a good show. I think I like Avatar and The Last Airbender a little more. Yeah, they choose an Ugin, Eye of Storms there. Yeah, 4-1 with blue-black. Deck looked really good, I thought. So there's a lab and a forest. They also now have Delirium for the Shifting Woodland. We could maybe hold up Cling to Dust. They have another green they can activate again. Obviously, we're just hoping to find. Oh, you know what? I bet if we see Sephiroth of the Overlord. Okay, we found the Marionette Apprentice. So let's start with this before we attack, because maybe if they kill this, we'll want to return it with Overlord after we sack it. But they're dead. Remember, they lose 2 life for every 1 life we lose in the loop-de-doop here. Yeah, I know Overlord can't return Sephiroth. That's what I was saying. I was speaking too fast, but we last minute we last minute cut the 4th apprentice for the first Sephiroth, and I've kind of regretted it twice so far. Can they have K command? They can. It doesn't seem particularly likely they would have one at this point. They would have had to have just drawn it, but it'd be weird if they just drew it because they double rumbled. Oh, maybe they drew it on the turn they cast the Myco Spawn. So here it is. They did have it after all. Maybe it's an Unholy Heat. I've been seeing them play that card a lot lately. I mean, they're acting like they got something. I don't know if they have their School of Juilliard acting degree or whatever. I like that they're responding to the Gravecrawler on the stack. A K return. So that should be fine. Oh, sorry, I should have sacked the servo first. Should still be fine. Seems like the consensus is that Eldrazi is a little much. What does that mean? Oh, I had another Gravecrawler here. I didn't even notice. I do think that I've said this a few times. I think it's still very bizarre that when designing MH3, like, you know, someone at some point in the MH3 design process said, "Hey, let's have Eldrazi be the most supported archetype in the set," and then someone there agreed to that. I just find that shocking. That both of those things happened. Not the Eldrazi discourse again. Well, I got to yap about something while I'm comboing off. At least this time, maybe Spike could explain why he doesn't like it. Well, it's just kind of on a bigger picture, right? On a bigger picture, what are Eldrazi? They are color pipe breaking, hard to interact with, cards that get like discounted with like double lands. Like that's like their color identity. Color pipe breaks, hard to interact with, that care a lot about having ancient tombs. And the only other time Eldrazi was viable in Modern, it was one of the worst Modern environments in history. I've explained this before, by the way. Anyways, it was maybe the worst Modern format ever. It wasn't the worst. Worst was Nadu, but it was one of the worst ever. It just to me seems like we could have had anything else. You know, it's like it just seems like almost any other direction would have been a better direction to go for me personally. How much support would it take to make slivers viable? I think there are 0 playable modern slivers besides maybe Harmonic Sliver and the Fusion Sliver. So maybe there are 2 playable slivers. You need like 10 other slivers. Nadu worse than Gak. Yeah, Nadu was worse than Gak. I think the Nadu Modern Era was the worst, especially because it was like immediately like this. It was like immediately a bad meta after too. Maybe that shouldn't count. I don't think the Eldrazi decks are necessarily like overpowered, but I think the gameplay is bad with them. If that makes sense. Like I just think that the gameplay is not particularly good. And I think that, with Modern Horizons 3 was entering a format that was, in my opinion, a good modern format, and I think gameplay should have been the biggest priority. Do you have any Planetarium Wang Tong decks? Maybe Mono Blue Tron with Aeon Storm? The thing with Planetarium is I really like it as a card in the Great Creator tutor target, and I don't think it's very likely that I would want to just play it all natural, but maybe you could. It would be a Tron deck with big stuff, it wouldn't be anything too crazy. All right, get in there, Gravecrawler. I think I'd like to make a counter to play around K return. Maybe it's a little cute. Maybe I like being a little cute. Titan, Belcher, and Storm are more preferable play patterns to fight than Eldrazi. Not necessarily. Although I would say Belcher and Storm are. I'd say Titan's worse for whatever that's worth. But again, it's not about like what's the most annoying thing. I guess Thoughtseize is better than Break Dice here. The question isn't like what's the like just because something else is worse doesn't make the design or the decision to make MH3 so Eldrazi focused a good decision, right? Like there are worse things than Eldrazi. There are a lot of worse things. I think there's several worse things than Eldrazi, but that doesn't mean it was a good choice for MH3's the main archetype for them to support for it to be Eldrazi. I think almost anything else would have been a better choice. That's the only point I'm trying to make with this dialogue tree, and you don't have to agree. But that's the point I'm trying to make. I agree with Belcher's the best gameplay. I personally love playing against Belcher, but this is what's nice about Magic is everybody likes different things about gameplay. But I think gameplay against Belcher is so cool and unique. I think your decision on when to apply pressure versus interact is always like it's the kind of matchup I really enjoy. Maybe it's just better to play another Gravecrawler. I'm gonna Thoughtseize again. They could have Emrakul. Maybe Emrakul didn't matter. So they rumble over into just a basic forest, thankfully. Is it better to cling to dust or is it better to play a Gravecrawler? Probably cling to dust. Does the printing redirect lightning make Belcher a risky archetype to play? I don't think it moves the needle a lot, but it's definitely negative for them. But that's one nice thing about modern is the format's so diverse. Everybody's got an archetype they really, really hate too. I think that having that like nemesis deck in the format, I think that is an important thing to maintain. I think it's good that everybody has one or two one or two decks that they just cannot stand. So for every one life I pay, they lose two. Although with the Shambling Ghast, I pay one life, they lose three because I can get an extra treasure. So barely enough to kill them. But we have won our last. We've won our last 7 matches with Airship in our deck. Although these 2 games we did not draw an Airship once, but Airship was good yesterday. It would be funny if we just had 2 Airship trophies by Thursday. A little early to say that, I guess. was it immediately came out of nowhere, broke the format, and then Gun got banned, and then it was gone. And I think most players, I think maybe you could say that the statement people like Eldrazi is true. That maybe this is more popular in Commander, but when it comes to Modern, people think I'm just Graveyard Bottom this and Surveil turn one. Typically, not a popular archetype amongst Modern players. All right, so they exile a KK Mana Chrysalis and a Sprawl. Probably, I guess if they're shuffling turn one. It's interesting they did keep a card on top. Yeah, I would even say like they're 0 for 2 on designing Eldrazi decks in Modern. Maybe I don't know. The current Eldrazi deck's not the worst ever, but I don't think it's particularly good gameplay. Okay, bricked on creatures on the Overlord, which stinks. I'm interested to see how Airship plays against Eldrazi. We mostly have been playing it against Flage decks. Was Image 3 not called Commander Masters at some point because it felt like a lot of stuff was designed for Commander? I think there was some rumor about in development they were calling it Commander Masters. Yeah, typically that's just something like people on Twitch say, or whatever, or just talking about Commander Masters 3. They said this about Modern Horizons 1 and 2 also, but I think they actually were calling it that for this one. Maybe I'm misremembering this story. Yorion was banned in Modern because players have small hands. As one of the, I had dexterity issues with Yorion. I have shaky hands, and I played Yorion at 1 or 2 tournaments, and it was actually really, really difficult for me. All right, come on, Airship. Am I going to double block? Probably should double block this turn. Maybe I could get kind of aggressive instead. They have 6 mana. Probably just need to be playing a longer game where I try to like double block something this turn. I don't know if I want to double block. I get probably the World Breaker because they both have reach. That's a good reason to double block. Also, they both have reach. Maybe they don't attack. They probably do. I think I'll block the Chrysalis because I'm afraid of it getting super duper big. Okay, so we have the combo next turn, so we're definitely just pivoting into defense and trying to combo next turn. Maybe my opponent's gonna like devour my Sephiroth though. Yeah, Gravecrawler could not block, but it does have its Phoenix Fleet Airship license. Are you? Wait, they grab Devourer, but they don't have double colorless. Oh wow, that was maybe just a huge punt over there. Um, well, looks like we maybe just get it to combo here. Oh, we even get to Thoughtseize first. Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't have anything else, but now it's 0.1 for Sephiroth here. By the way, I drew us the Sephiroth was better than Marionette here by a lot. Not only drawing us the cards we need, but also gaining a life as part of the loop. Yes, they do. They have Lab and Mana Rock for double cost. No, they just cast the Mana Rock. I know their hand. What are they doing? Okay. I'm talking. Last turn they put Devour in their hand main phase, but they didn't have double colorless to cast it. That's all we were saying. In fairness, you don't thought. Yeah, honestly, the airships might have just won if I didn't have the stuff going on. Like the airships just like my opponent had a Chrysalis and a Worldbreaker, and my airships were just winning combat. Like airship is just it's just like is the game about playing to the board, and more so matches are about playing to the board. But if the answer to the question is this game about playing to the board, airship seems to just say, "I will win this game for you. I will win this game for you." It's been like soloing Jeskai. It's been really cool. Ashiok that bad against them. You could play Ashiok. I don't think it's awful against them. It's better now that they're playing some, fetch lands too, or they have been playing fetch lands. But we're also the draw. Maybe on the play, you could play it over like the first cling. Yeah, let's keep Cavern of Souls. I think we'll take Rumble over Talisman. Maybe kind of close. They did not keep a land. They did not keep a card on top with the Devourer, although they do find they do find a land. Oh no, so they did keep one. I misread the yard there. Yeah, airship going to be potentially just kind of a nice way to fight through this Grafdigger's Cage that they kind of mulligan for. So if I don't Thoughtseize them this turn, my opponent can draw exactly Eldrazi Temple to cast Devourer. Do I want to play around that? Not. I guess, hold on. Do I just cast Overlord this turn? Yeah, I think we just cast Overlord. So remember they have the Grafdigger's Cage. I think that's okay. They top deck the Nature's Claim, which is a bit awkward for my plan there, I guess. Maybe I should have just grabbed Shambling Ghast to sack to Sephiroth. I don't know. Nature's Claim, not even like all it does is hit Overlord. I don't know that I would have boarded it then, but it was amazing there. Drew another talisman, or a talisman, I should say. Oh, hits Airship, duh, of course. They're respecting Airship, and I'm not respecting them. They're top decking though, and when they're top decking and they just can't cast any of their big stuff, it's nice. Although now they can cast a lot of their big stuff. Let's see what my top card is. Sephiroth also been better this game, of course. A lot better than Marionette would have been. Big top deck for them. A lot of bricks. Ah, GG. Well, very low resource game. Kind of classic bold to Grafdigger's Cage against this kind of deck. Let's get another trophy prediction going. Second today. Not really sure yet. Tong's good. I'm kind of surprised people keep even asking how good it is necessarily. I guess it's like the new modern staple, but it seems like it is going to be a big or a modern staple, a card you see a good amount of. It's kind of unclear exactly how it fits into decks, I guess, but card's good, and I think it'll continue to look good. So yeah, we played against Simic yesterday, and the Airship was absurdly good against them too. And I think we just main phased the Bowmaster. One black looking good. Splashing for Rumble seems so free good. Yeah, you can splash for Rumble. Wonder if Rumble's better than Overlord. Not sure exactly. Like, I'm not sure what card you would cut for it, but I can see Rumble being good here. It's like Rumble into Airship just seems so nice. Thinking Overlord too. I mean, Overlord's like solid too. Like like ramping into a tower, I like a lot. Do you feel Wang Chitong or Avatar's cards are going to show in challenge results? I don't know. Apparently, like Badger Bowl Cup and Yawgmoth has been doing well, which is interesting to me. Definitely have a lot to like. The Badger Bowl Cup decks are so overwhelming. Every time we've played one, it's like the lines are like brain melting. There's just so much going on with those decks. It's going to take a long time to really um to hammer them out. Oh, they found an Oculus. Oh no, they found a Harbinger. Interesting. See if they subtlety this. They do. So they hand is Agent Endurance. Definitely putting this on top. Infernape with the 13 months. Thank you, welcome back. Don't get to catch the stream very often. Been going through all your YouTube vids since Image 3 between uploads. Nice. Glad you're still liking the stream after all this time. Yeah, I definitely, would love to circle back to Timeless at some point. Hopefully they hit an Ice Fang here. Yes. Wow, they play it. Am I going to kill the Harbinger? I guess so. Another argument for Badger's Bowl Saga lines are less brain melting. Oh, the post says, oops, did not mean to cast it. Well, oopsie doopsie. Yeah, I guess that's maybe the thing is like with Badger Bowl Cup, I'm like with Nantuko and Lotus Cobra, oh, they just concede? Wow. They should keep playing. It's like the lines are like amazing. What you can do with it is so cool, but it is tough to play. So I need the next time we play a Badger Bowl Cup deck though, it needs to not be just dead on arrival to Wang Chitong. That was the problem with today's build. I thought it looked good, but it was just too weak to Wan. Probably just running it back. Maybe push is better than Flare. That's probably true. 2-1 split. I don't think I want too many more. Maybe 2-2. Can cut a Gravecrawler. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, we can keep this on the draw against Simic Ritual. I really want to draw an airship, but the airships are have not been in our hands yet. So they have 2 Sings. I think we'll take Flibble Flip, and then the Flare's not all that good. Kind of working on this for Badger Bowl outside of Saga. The idea is Cub is a nice piece and not a combo piece. Oh, tough top deck. Not really very excited about Badger Bowl when you have like just one Dryad Arbor as literally the only other card that taps for extra mana, I would definitely love to see more ways to utilize its ability besides its own ability. Like at least the second Dryad Arbor. But we've also played these kind of builds and they haven't been super good. Like I think like maybe just leaning more in on like being mono green with Karn seems better to me than playing the splash for white. It's like costing you a lot. So we go Thoughtseize and Gravecrawler since the crawler holds up the flare. Yeah, Grazer and Cup in the same deck's really weird. I think the reason people keep asking about Wang Chitong is because they're wondering if it's a Psychic Frog type staple that's good in a few decks, or one ring type staple goes into every deck and come in. Oh, it's a Psychic Frog, not a Quantum Riddler or a ring. I think I'm gonna go Overlord Gravecrawler this turn, digging for Soultrader, and then also like the impending might be relevant. We do find the Soultrader, which means we don't get to be super mana efficient this turn, but we have the combo. They also have all these sinks, so maybe having the combo is not that not that good. I don't know. All right, go ahead and use the sink. It's interesting they didn't. Maybe they have a flare, but what they would have played a land, right? Yeah, I'm okay. Just kind of time walking there, I guess. They're doing nothing. All right, now they're doing something. I think I'll just try to kill the Oracle here. Sure. Would really be nice to be able to play the Gravecrawler the turn we play the Soultrader. Would make like redeploying the combo a lot easier. It's just, you know, drawing a land. Although if we draw a land, if it's a fetch land, maybe we play Airship. Because Airship has just been proven to be so tough for them to beat. So I guess non-fetch land we play Soultrader. Fetch land we play Airship. And then reassess if it's a spell. Flare not very good against the agent here, huh? What do you think about updating your Moxfield decks with links to YouTube vids if applicable? We usually do the inverse. Usually the Moxfield is in the YouTube description. Could be interesting. We do get to flip the Overlord into a creature to block next turn. Probably going to game 3. Yeah, let's go game 3. Turn 8, 3 lands in play. Sad. Right. Running it back. Any chance you flared the Soultrader in response to Sync? Well, I mean, you only kill Shardless Agent. Didn't seem like a winning line. Didn't seem like we necessarily had winning lines, though, so there was that also. So I'm playing Soultrader with Timeline Colored to give you more copies of Gravecrawler. I mean, more copies of Gravecrawler isn't usually... It isn't usually a priority with this deck. I think I'm going to play 3 or 4 instead of more than that. So I'm going to put back the Bowmaster, probably. Maybe I'll put back the third land. I think I'll just keep the land so it triggers the ship. We're going for the turn 2. We get an underneath flare. I think they're not very likely to have Force of Negation in. For feedback last game, should have main phase Bowmaster on turn 2 when you saw they had flare. You pass to the turn 3 and cast Bowmaster into flare. Maybe that was the move. Let's go. GG. Let's have Force of Vigor, I guess. Well, that was easy pick. Yeah, the Apprentice Marionette crewing 2 airships is a pretty cool dynamic. Obviously, you have that with Bowmaster. Now you've got some redundancy there. Seems like maybe the airship trophy yesterday was not a fluke. Maybe. I guess my opponent didn't see an airship the rest of the match here. Yeah, Flip sure is lost here. Yeah, Serenade would have been good there, but my opponent showed us Agent last game, so they're just pretty unlikely to have it. All right, GG's. Yeah, airships have just looked so good, even though that was the first time we, I think, even played one this match or this league. Maybe we played one other this league. Like the format is a lot more grindy than what we've been playing against for the most part. There's like so much Jeskai. Oh, man, got the turn 2 on the play. So I not that this deck is maybe not bad against that because of the airship, but I don't think Soultrader's randomly really good. No, I think we're just running well. Interesting. We do the trophy bets at 3-0. They did keep 7. Unfortunately, they can have stub. Yeah, we need to Thoughtseize this turn, I guess. They can have binding and they can have stub to just totally wreck me. We also might get to take Scion. Have you thought about airship and a besiege restore balance shell? We didn't play restore balance. We played living end, but we trophied with that yesterday. I think living end makes more sense than restore balance. Well, this worked out perfectly. Could play around another Ragavan. I think it's okay not to. Okay. They had it. It's okay. What's the... I don't know what the worst thing they could hit is because Bowmaster. They had a Shambling Ghast. Okay, last time we played against Domain Zoo, they hit Shambling Ghast. It was really good. Funny. How can you go Infinite Mama Shrieking Drake? Primal Prayers. Alright, they've got the Ghast again. Doorkeeper Thrill does stop the Bowmaster ETB and scams the Flage. I'll respect you for once. For once. Yeah, Airship is like Skewed Swarm, but 4/4 flyers and doesn't die to removal spells or creature only removal spells. I should have crewed with the Bowmaster though before I sacked it. Please don't hit another Scoot Swarm or Shambling Ghast. So they're dead on board. We know the hand is Stubborn Denial, Ragavan, Mystery card. Seems like I should attack with 3 airships here. I guess they go down to 6 and then they go down to 5 because they're not quite dead to any single airship hitting them. Card has definitely played way better than I expected it to. I didn't exactly expect to win 9 matches in a row with airship in my deck. Maybe getting 2 trophies in a row with 2 different builds. I don't want to count my chickens yet. But we're doing pretty well. Now we're a little bit main decked with the Flare of Malices. I think I'm interested in some amount of Fatal Push, some amount of Graveyard Trespasser. Probably cutting the Bowmasters. Just sideboarding like this. Yeah, the build we trophied with yesterday was all in on Airship. We're playing Beseech for like Airship redundancy. How's Airship been? It's been really good. We trophied with it yesterday in a deck that was like it was just all about like beseeching an Airship into play or casting it. We trophied with that one, and now this build is of course doing other stuff too, but has also been pretty good. Hard to mulligan Flare of Malice against Domain Zoo. Yeah, it's been a fast league for sure. Looks like we won't quite be able to tower out an Airship next turn. I guess we can if we draw a Shambling Ghast. Trespasser is good against Flage. That's kind of it. It's not really that deep, honestly. Okay, I'll take a Soultrader, I guess, over a no, sorry, take the Shambling Ghast. And then we have the Airship online next turn. Is an Emperor better? Typically I like Trespasser more out of the board. It's like resilient to removal spells. It tends to be just better against exactly Flage, yeah. Hopefully they don't have a stub or a binding, but I think we're going for it here. Does Airship seem like the card with some of the highest potential or most fun? I don't know. It's been good. I'm having fun, yeah. We're getting stubbed here. That's no fun. How's the Belcher matchup? Probably not great, but at least you have the Soultrader combos. Kind of how it goes. They exile an Airship. That's funny. Instead of the Gravecrawler. Draw another Shambling Ghast. This is going to enter tapped. I think I just play a Trespasser here. Maybe get their last two cards with this. They didn't loot with the Kavu, so their last two cards are somewhat relevant. Which is not good news. They're looting now. They're looting away a Leyline. Take the hit. So let's go to combat. See what they do. No, we can't recur Airship. They're just scared, I think. I think I'd like to just go Soultrader plus Gravecrawler here. Was kind of interested in being able to jump with the Ghast. So they play a land. They didn't play a land last turn. Wrath X equals 3. You didn't want to attack first. Okay, I guess we're doing pretty good because we just have an Overlord against an empty board. Oh, baby. Let's go. Ah, nice. And then we have got the treasure token next turn for the Airship. Got Overlord in play. Jump with the creature can't block. Shambling Ghast can block, right? Yeah, I said I was interested in playing a Shambling Ghast to chump, but I took this line instead. No, we lost for the trophy with Demir, sadly. Why not play Gravecrawler before sacking the Ghast? Keeping the treasure token for next turn is somewhat relevant. I guess playing the Gravecrawler is better. We trophied again, though. We sure do win if they don't wrath us again. Even if they wrath us again, we'd at least have the Overlord in play. So the last 2 leagues we played with Airship, we trophied. We did 1-2 our first league, so we're 11-2 with Airship decks. Card seems pretty dang good. No, we didn't trophy